And good afternoon everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of the Rostrum Roundup. Today, Martin Farrah is missing. He's down in Melbourne selling the $1 million of artwork for our sister company, Lawsons Menzies. But as usual, I have my teammate here, Peter Marejka, and a very special guest, Mr. Eric Knowles, has joined us down here at Lawsons. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you for having me on board.
It's very exciting to have you here, but what we'll do, we'll get straight into it. Peter.
Yes, all right. So I guess I'll start with the first item, which is these Minton miniatures, which are probably from the early 19th century. You will see the usual large-sized blue and white innerwears quite regularly, but it's very difficult to find these little miniatures. And what's beautiful is that they also are marked with the pattern names, and so we can conclude that they trace back to Minton. So maybe around the 1820s, 1830s. And auction estimate, you might cringe at this, but I think we've put in an estimate of about 100, 150 on this little grouping.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, I'll be leaving a bid. Don't you worry about that. I'll be leaving a bid. It's the sort of thing that you would have found probably in a nursery. In the UK, we call them pat boats. I'm not quite sure what they're called in Australia, but this one is actually marked with Copeland. So date-wise on this is going to be sort of mid-19th century, with a well-known design on there. Very nice thing. You know, if these things could tell a story.
It's the history behind them that makes them fascinating, isn't it?
It is as well.
150 is on and still maybe practical.
Yeah. Now, this might look a little broken and a little dishevelled, but this is a very, very early Astro Boy figurine. Now, especially with these early Japanese figurines, there's a massive collector market for them, especially with the comic guys and stuff. Now, the interesting thing about this is it has the company that made it, its stamp under one foot, and then actually the guy who designed it on the other foot. So very interesting. I did a bit of research, and an absolutely rarity, this one. I've only been able to find the female version, which funnily enough is called Astro Boy Girl. They would have spent hours on that name.
Yeah, they would, yeah.
But
what sort of date are we talking about?
We're talking like 1969.
1969.
So it is fairly early. And for that age and that condition, even though the legs are, he's a bit legless, it's I think it's a very good find. A very rare piece nonetheless.
And what do you expect that to make?
I'd say 600 to 800.
What?
600 to 800. To the right collector, I think it's worth that every day.
Oh right, interesting.
I think Martin has transcended in spirit because you're taking the middle chair.
He's always here. He never leaves us.
Right. The next object for me is a traditional Chinese carving of the boy riding the water buffalo, and it's probably 20th century make, but beautifully carved, which is why I like this. And apparently there is a set of 10 poems that this might relate to, because it's a fairly popular subject matter relating back to Zen Buddhism and something to do with enlightenment.
Yeah, beautifully carved, I like it.
We do get them obviously in the UK. I think they're coming out of South China, I mean dangerously close to Hong Kong. I've no idea what you would get for that here in Australia, so tell me. Okay,
so the cabinet section has put an estimate of 80 to 120 on it, which is I think a little bit on the harsh side. Anyway, I think it might go closer maybe to the 150 mark. It does have a little bit of a condition issue, which depending on how lenient the bias will be.
Yeah, I think it's got 150 all day.
Yeah.
And you'd think, you know, in all honesty, looking at the carving of that base, that's worth 150, and it's that all right.
Every day. Every day. Okay, my next one is something after my own heart. It's these very early Australian advertising posters, and this would have sat in a local milk bar or something similar, or just the local shop there. And the slogan is, pause here, take home a brick of Peter's ice cream. Now, if I'm eating ice cream, I want a brick. Let's be honest.
You're not a cornet man.
I'm not a cornet man, not whatsoever. Now, the thing with this sort of advertising is, it's predates television, so your item sold itself on the shelf. Your poster sold it. That's why it's got the nice bright colours. The Sundays there. You can buy a whole brick of the Neapolitan. And yeah, they're just beautiful things. There's another one here from Nestle. Very hard things to find these days, especially because they're paper, so they tend to deteriorate a lot. My guess would be 400 a set.
Wow, 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 wow.
To a good collector.
Okay, nothing surprises me when it comes to advertising and memorabilia in this country.
I think it's because they're bright and colourful, and it's got that thing that takes you back.
Happy days.
Happy days. There we go. Peter.
Right, so the last object for me is a print by Paul Jacolet, a well-known French-Japanese artist who lived most of his life in Japan, which is why he adopted the ukiyo woodblock technique. But unlike the Japanese artist, he took it a couple of steps further by using subject matter that was outside Japan.
Yeah.
Right, so it does differ from the traditional Japanese wood blocks in that it's a little bit more colorful, and there's also some new techniques that are being introduced, like the impressing of patterns.
Very decorative, very decorative thing. I like the, there's someone eating a piece of corn in there, or?
That's right, yes. And estimate-wise, before I forget, 300 to 500.
Good, good, well framed, nicely mounted, good thing.
Like it a lot.
My last item is a Macintosh sideboard, the big rosewood Macintosh sideboard. Absolutely fantastic manufacture of sideboards. It's rosewood, it's like a good heavy rosewood veneer, good Scottish maker. You don't buy a better sideboard than anything made by Macintosh. I've got quite a number of them in this week's sale, in our 20th century design sale. My estimate would be, it's got a matching dining suite as well as a nest of tables. My estimate for the sideboard would be 1,800 to 2,000. That's my guess, but in very, very good order.
Right, okay. Well, Adam, I've had a good scout around your 20th century decorative art sale, and nice things, very nice things.
It is, there are some good things in there. So this is the first week that Lawsons have hit the special weekly sales. So this week, second week of the month is the 20th century and industrial design. Third week of the month is the wine sale, and then the last and final is the fine art and antique sale. So thanks for watching, everyone. I urge you to get onto the website, lawsons.com.au. All the catalogues will be available. They're all there. And get involved. There's some wonderful things through this week's sale. Big special thank you to Eric for coming down and visiting us down here at Dusty Old Lawsons. So thanks very much. Thanks for watching.